Welcome to 30 What Now? This is Mel.
And this is Iryan.
And we're two millennials in our 30s who are faking it through life.
On this podcast, we'll explore what it means to be a 30-year-old and try to make sense of it all along the way.
We're also new to this whole podcast thing, so if you're keen to see our journey, listen away.
Shall we?
Yeah.
All right. I think we have established I'm a soft speaker.
You mean we've established this from the first time we've
And
done
so the
this?
mic is now very much closer to my mouth, and we will figure this one out.
I'm actually trying to get it further away from my mouth. But welcome, everyone.
Has Mel ever said that?
Oh, okay. I actually didn't catch what I said because I'm so innocent like that.
Oh, is that right? Well, when you go back to listen to the recording, you'll know.
Yeah, like shit. Hi, everybody. We are back with Iryan.
Woohoo!
Whoa. Well, it's been a while.
It's been a while. I've been away for a while, but not really away. My family was in town. And when you have family in town, and when I say family, I mean parents, sister, brother-in-law, kids, brother, sister. Mind you, I live in a 2-bedroom apartment in the city.
Yeah.
It's been hectic.
And in my attempted recording of versions of the previous episodes, I actually mentioned that Iryan probably has more of a life than I do. And I still think that's probably true. Yeah, true. Outside of pod, I feel like you have more.
Well, actually, so we didn't talk about what we're going to say on this podcast, but you mentioned this just before we got on, about doing things not for the future, but doing things because you want to.
Yes, but how is it relevant for
Living life.
Well, no. I think what I was thinking is more the fact that your friends hang out more frequently. Like, I have great friends, but I think we would, like, groups of my friends, we would hang out once every 2-3 months, if anything.
So you've got acquaintances.
No. We are close friends, but we just don't hang. And I think I have more friends. I have more friends who hang out more sparingly, but whenever we catch up, like if I needed a kidney, I think some of them would provide the kidney to me.
Fair, okay.
Yeah,
fair,
whereas
fair,
I think
fair,
you
fair,
have a
fair,
core group
fair.
of friends, but you hang out often, like so often.
I mean,
And then plus your other, like, your work stuff, and then your family's here.
nobody's counting friends here, Mel, but sure.
I am, because it's so hard to get you. I was like, are you free? No. Well, if
It's been busy. Look, in fairness, my family was here. It was great to have them around, and we did. I want to know a bit of a life update from you, Mel. But actually, we did a lot of animals stuff.
You did animals?
We did.
You know,
we
that's
did
called
animals.
bestiality.
It's kind of like you. It's like you do books.
Oh, right. Okay. In that context, yeah.
So we did a lot of animal stuff. So if you've ever visited Melbourne or you live in Melbourne, you know what Phillip Island is. If you mention Phillip Island, you think penguins.
Penguins.
What's a pingling?
Have you never seen that video with Benedict Cumberbatch where he couldn't say the word penguins, and so he says penguin?
I feel like I've heard of this.
Yes, we watched this video together. I am so sure.
I don't remember it.
Okay.
Anyway, beside the point. Penguins. Although, in fairness, tiny penguins.
Tiny penguins
So
cannot eat.
no, family was. Now we do a lot of animal stuff. We did. We went up to Phillip Island. Have you been there, Mel, to do the penguins?
Not the penguins.
To do penguins?
Not to do. I've only been to Phillip Island to Phillip Island.
To do Phillip Island.
To do Phillip Island, like, be there. I think I've mostly been there during winter. And so you're at the beach houses, you try to go to the beach and it's
Wow.
cold. You go for like the fish and chips, all that. But never to do penguins.
It's well worth it. I tell you what, it's well worth it to do once in your life. This was the second time I did it. It was good.
Do you feel more connected to animals? Well, what other
Well,
animal stuff?
Well, I think, first of all, the penguins
Are they not animals?
are animals. They are birds. They're flightless birds, in case you didn't know. You sit down at like 7, and this was maybe in September, October period, but you sit down at about 7 p.m.
Yeah.
They come out at sunset,
Yeah.
which
So
was
an hour.
8:30.
10:30.
8:30.
8:30. Yeah.
And
okay.
they start coming out at 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
The night before, so when you get there, there's a signboard that says how many penguins came out the night before.
Yeah.
1,100 penguins.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's
That's
a
a
fuck
lot.
ton of penguins.
That is a lot.
At 8:30, we saw 2.
Oh.
8:45, I saw another 3.
Okay.
They trickle in, right? Because I think they're waiting for the sun to fully go down.
Right.
It's the cutest thing.
Right.
They'll come out and they'll be on the water. So, bit of background: these penguins, come out of the ocean. They call it the penguin parade.
Mm-hmm.
So they swim in the ocean for days, for weeks, for a while, for a long time. They don't come to land for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they're doing now, when they call this penguin parade, these penguins are coming home to nest into their
Right.
burrows, right? And the family welcomes them home. Hi, how are you? Welcome back. I miss you. All that kind of stuff, you know? The wife's waiting at home, wondering where the husband is at. It's basically the whole scenario,
Yeah.
right? And so they're coming in, and they're waiting for the sun to set.
Mm-hmm.
And you see some of them come in, and then they'll stand on the water. So you imagine that the water's coming in with the waves, and then their feet are just in the water, waiting. Like, do I get out of the water? Do I not? Do I get out of the water? And there's like 3 or 4 of them, and then they look at each other, and they're like, you go first. No, you go first. And so you'll see a group of them, and then one will run forward, turn around, and run back because like no one came with me.
Oh,
no one
that's
came with
so
me.
cute.
So the idea is it's power in numbers because they want to go out of the water together to cross the beach because it's open space. They're an open target,
Yeah.
right? And so it's just the absolute cutest thing.
Ah.
You're a bit far away, obviously, for protection of the penguins, but that's real fun. And then walking back to your car, there's a boardwalk that they've built, and the penguins go underneath the boardwalk and around the boardwalk, and it's quite nice. So I recommend that if you're ever in Phillip Island. It's a good experience. It's probably not worth the drive out just to do that for a day. There's other stuff to do on Phillip Island.
Like
but yeah, you
fish
should
and
do it.
chips.
Like fish and chips. Like the other thing we did was, so there's a koala sanctuary on the island, which we did. Fun, great, good, really cute because and again, not to be mistaken with the Animal Wildlife Park. There's 2 things. I'll come to that. But there's a koala sanctuary, and when you get in, it's about 40 koalas in the sanctuary. It's actually quite a lot because you don't kind of crowd the koalas together. And you go in, and you're allowed to walk around the sanctuary. And as you walk around, you'll see these signs that say, "Look up, koala spotted here." So, fun fact: koalas don't move very much. They sleep for 22 hours in the day, something ridiculous like that. And so if they've been seen in a tree, it's more likely than not they're still in that tree. So the rangers walk around, maybe they can not call it rangers, I don't know what they call it in a sanctuary, but they walk around and they leave these signs in the morning. So as guests and tourists come in and walk around, they can more easily find a koala.
Okay.
So that's fun, quiet, serene, lovely, short walk, well worth it. Agree. But down the road,
Another animal.
there is a wildlife park.
Okay.
Not a sanctuary, a park. It's different.
And what's there?
Everything. Fucking everything. Eagles, birds, bats, Komodo dragons, lizards, snakes, kangaroos, emus, wallabies. And it's fun because you can feed them. And I don't think I showed you photos of this, but you can, they give you a bag of feed together with your entry, and you can feed emus. And mind you, if you never stood next to an emu, they are tall.
Yeah. That's scary. No, I've seen them. They
Yeah.
are scary.
And they will eat out of your hand. And they'll go, and our listeners can't see this, but their beak, imagine a really big beak, they'll squeeze down and snip your hand. And so it's a really weird feeling because Mel, give me your hand. Mel,
give me a sec.
give me your hand. So it's like, no, straight. Yep. And they go, like that. You know, but imagine like deeper trying to get food out of your hand. So that's really fun. I recommend it. You could feed the kangaroos and the wallabies, and they're just roaming around. They're free. Really good experience. So the short of it all,
So we just
take your
had
families there.
So we just had like a massive update on just animals.
So good. I also went to the zoo. So my family went to the Werribee Open Range Zoo, which, mind you, great. good. Safari, fun. I went to Healesville Sanctuary. I'm so full of sanctuaries. That was also fun, but fun in a different way. The birds are really fun. To be able to walk around and see the birds is very relaxing, very quiet. But Healesville Sanctuary doesn't have the elephants, the giraffes, the hippos, the
Yeah, because they're
lions.
not native, right? Because a sanctuary is meant to reflect native animals. No,
Oh, is that right?
I feel like that's the case. Because you don't see a zoo, you get to see wildlife from all parts of the world. Whereas a sanctuary isn't open. It's open, so it's in
Oh,
natural elements.
interesting. Oh, okay. Well, I've learned
I'm
something new.
smart.
So if you wanted to see they call it the Big Four or the Big Five,
Big
the
you mean
the
PWC EY?
the animals, right? The lions. I think is it lions, elephants, giraffes, zebras, something. That's the big five animals. Beside the point. Great fun. Zoos, penguins, sanctuaries, wildlife parks. That's been my life for the past couple of months.
Did that make you? So when after seeing all these animals, do you feel more connected to the world, or do you want to eat less meat? Did you come away with any feels?
No, no, and yes. Emu beaks feel weird.
Yeah, I actually haven't been to the zoo in a long time. I've always
I
gone
love
to
the zoo.
zoos and hills and sanctuaries as part of dates. So I definitely felt like even when I go to those places, it's always been like for the purposes of like hanging out with whoever you're with, you know?
No,
Have
it's
you
fun.
been to the zoo, fellow listeners? That's obvious.
Well, you know what? If you do go to the zoo, there's an annual membership, and if you go 3 times in the year, it pays for itself.
Ah, I've done. Okay, let's start with animals.
What's been happening with you, Mel? What's been happening?
Well, I recently did the triathlon as per
Woohoo!
requested by myself because I paid for it. And the last time we chatted between me and Iryan, we talked about doing a triathlon support beginner group session where you pay money. Like Iryan got it for free, but I paid money to train with a bunch of new people, and we were provided tips and tricks on how to bike, cycle, run, blah blah blah. And I have to admit, I am pretty proud despite the distances only being really short. I keep telling people it's a fun try. So I only swam 150 meters, I cycled 7 kilometers, and I ran 1.3 kilometers. So it's short, and it's the swim part that gets me. But I have to admit, although I did have some fun with the group of people that were there, I think you had more fun.
I had a lot of fun. It was
Yeah.
so fun.
I don't think it was
I made so many friends. So good.
but I think it's because like you went with friends, so you met new friends, and I felt that because you did it at a later series. So like a couple more triathlon
That-
series happened.
That makes sense. And the weather on because I managed to head out and somewhat catch Mel. Actually, coincidentally, catch Mel in the middle of her ride and her run. It was great. And the weather was trash.
It was raining,
Absolute trash.
but also I felt like there was probably 30 people within my triathlon group, beginners group, and all of them were better than me, which is fine. But because have you ever been in a situation where you're the worst person? So you might go to a dance class and you're the worst dancer, or if you're in a classroom and you're the worst, you're the dumbest person in that classroom, and because you don't have friends, you are automatically the loser.
Every day of my life.
No, but if you don't have friends, I think so. If you're in a situation where you're the worst person and you don't have friends, you automatically don't have a support group. Because for a while, when I started the triathlon thing, I couldn't swim. I actually panicked. I actually properly panicked the first time I went deep into the ocean. Like I had a massive like panic attack where I stood there. Someone had to save me out of the water, and I feel like other people saw me. And then my cycling was also really bad, and the run was fine. I was shit, but it's fine. Like I knew it, and I felt that the really, really, really good people didn't want to play with me. Okay, and yeah, so I actually felt for a period of time I had no friends. And then I had to, and I also felt like because I was on my own, I had to actively reach out to the bottom people of the pack and begin making friends. So there's a couple of people who are going to do the fun try. So the fun try is the small distance, right? But most of the people that are doing the sprint, so 500-meter swim. And I really targeted on those who are doing the fun try.
So you could be the best.
No, because I'm still the worst out of all of them. This lady who was probably like 50, 60, still swam past me. So, she's a strong swimmer.
Yeah.
She is. But I had to like go in. Who were the weaker links? Like Survivor style. Let's be friends and bond together. I don't even think I actually spoke to the really, really good ones. I did at the end because my bubbly personality is so amazing. But if I didn't talk to them, I wouldn't have any friends. And I think because I didn't have a car, obviously you don't know I don't drive, I had to haul myself to Elwood sometimes via public transport when I don't have to do a cycling bit. But when I had to bring my bike, I cycle from the city to Elwood, and that's about 35 minutes cycle as a competent cyclist, and I've never cycled through the city. I had to rely on what other cyclists were doing.
So you learned all the hand gestures, turn right, and turn left.
And where people cycled, and my butt really hurt.
What bike did you? Oh yeah, I've seen your bicycle.
Yeah. So like if I'm gonna be honest, I think this is one of those things where I hated the journey. Like I hated that I had to haul my ass, and I think if I had a car, the drive would have been easier, and I wouldn't have to haul my bike, and I wouldn't have to like force myself to shower in Elwood like toilets, which is just the water wasn't strong. Blah blah blah. Anyway, I had to haul myself there. I didn't have friends. I had to make friends, and it was hard. And I don't know whether it's also because I'm older now. I feel like my body's a bit weaker generally. But yeah, I'm glad I did it. But it was probably one of the tougher training sessions of my life. Like definitely harder than a marathon, even though it's a shorter distance. I think if you had to like train it. Whereas I feel like marathons are still like, I don't know. Maybe I'm talking shit.
Would you do it again?
I bought a wetsuit, so I probably should.
Did you use your wetsuit?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I bought it on Facebook Marketplace. Thank you, Peter, for selling it to me for cheap.
Shout out to Peter.
Yeah, he sold it for $140, including shipping.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I think I.
You know how much I got mine for?
$150.
Something like $100.
Oh.
Something like that for an Orca. I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, mine is blue 70.
Blue S770 something. Ocean blue. I don't know. But you mentioned it the other day.
Yeah. I think I'll try to do it again, but how bad I am at swimming is I swam as part of my wave, and then the people from the next wave caught up and pushed me left, right, and center to get ahead of me, and I freaked out for a little bit. I was like,
But, well, I mean, that's expected, right? I feel like people, at least they push you aside. They swam over me. Just like, fuck you. I'm going to go straight over you. That's pretty much what happened.
But it was none of us were like athletes. I mean, none of us.
That's why they went over me, because I'm not an athlete.
I think, look, I feel like I would. I think it's one of those things where once you've done a marathon, unless you are great at it, my knees are fucked from marathons, so I don't think I'll ever want it. I don't know
Good,
if I'll...
because I did not sign up for next year's marathon.
Yeah, I don't think marathons... I think for me it's a one and done thing. I think you level up and be like, Iron Man? No.
Well, actually, one of the people we trained with either has done an Ironman recently, 2 weeks ago, or is intending to do an Ironman.
Yeah.
And her first try was when we did it.
Yeah, so maybe.
Yeah, we did a sprint, but...
So I think for me the next thing is to be better at swimming. Yeah. So anyway, that's my life update.
Well, speaking of water, so you had a bit of a circuit breaker where you had to cross over water recently. What was that about?
Yeah, I have had a tough year, and so when I was talking to my mom and dad about my tough year. My dad gave me the most Byron Bay advice ever. Like Byron Bay lady advice ever. He was like, all right, Mel, you need a circuit breaker. You need to go somewhere over the ocean, and then I want you to go there without any plans. Don't text people. I want you to have minimal texting. Message your parents when you get there, and I just want you there.
Sorry. Always message your parents.
Always message your parents, but message them that you're safe, and just be lonely wherever you are, and then meditate. And I've never heard him say this advice, and I was very shocked because I was like, why is this something that came out of my dad's mouth? But so yeah, recently I went across to Tasmania to clear my mind, and I actually did some very, very, self-healing thing that I think, because I think I was probably properly depressed for the past couple months. And I think just generally it's just been a little tough feeling like I've been left behind, whilst I feel like those around me are progressing with their life. And it's all about comparison again. I think we've done a couple of episodes where we talk about comparisons are probably my greatest weakness, like comparing myself to others. But it's hard for me to pull apart what is me comparing myself to others and what are the things that I want for myself. So I'm sure that this year could be tough for a lot of people. So anyway, this is I had a tough year. And so some of the things that I've actually tried to do whilst I was away would be every morning I wake up, I've been journaling. Like we've already journaled anyway. So I've journaled. I read my book, and then my dad told me to meditate. So I meditated. And when I was in Tassie and I was trying to feel good, I did donate my plasma in Tassie. And then I happened to stumble across, Eat, Pray, Love, like the book in the library in the Red Cross.
Coincidental fate.
Coincidental and fake. And so I was reading that as I was donating my plasma. And, my dad was asking me at one point whether when I was meditating, did I receive any message from beyond, from like God or whatnot? And I was like, that's a weird question to ask. And I think like based on the fact that I got the book in my first few hours whilst I was in Tassie, and as I was reading it, if you know the book, the first chapter is about this woman whose life kind of is going badly, and then she decided to take up Italian and go to Italy just because she wants to. And then the first few chapters about her having the time of her life, living and doing things just because she wanted to. And so I actually was thinking how maybe the message that came out of my circuit breaker is do the things that you want to do just because you want to do it, and not because it's things that you think others think you should be doing.
Yeah, I mean that's what I said earlier, right? That was the point that you made before we got on the pod that I thought is particularly relevant. And actually, what I want to ask, we're closing out the year. What were our resolutions, and did we hit any of them? And I can start.
You start.
One of them was I wanted to do a sporting event every quarter.
Yeah. Did you? Yeah.
What I did.
I remember this.
No, I did the try in Jan, which is great. I did the Muay Thai camp in June, great.
Yeah.
July, August, September, I failed to do something sporty.
Because you had a life.
Sure.
Or is watching the animals.
So good.
But is that your sporting event?
Walking is a sport. And then October, November, December, we still have we still have the whole of December
We
technically.
still have the whole of December.
TBC, likely not.
Likely not. You haven't registered for anything.
No, but I also wanted to learn something new every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And learn or try something new every 6 months. We did pottery in the first half of the year. That was fantastic. Second half of the year, nothing yet, but I suspect I will over the break. Over the Christmas break. That's a bit more time.
Yeah, that's right. And also New Year's resolution can also be an arbitrary period, right? So if it eats in a little bit of that January period, I guess that's fine.
It's fine. Haven't started work yet.
My resolutions were do a try. I think it was no. I don't actually know if I actually included triathlon.
I think it was in there.
It was okay.
I think it was quite clear it was in there.
Yep. So I did a triathlon.
Well done.
The other one was to get my driving's license, which I will take the test on Friday.
Everybody wish me luck.
I did. I mean, as of the pod, so I would take my test on the 6th of December. Prior to the 6th of December, I did fail my hazards twice. So.
Mel is a hazard on the road.
Yes, 2024 resolutions. Get a pay raise at the end of the year, which I didn't get because, we're living in a period where people are being made redundant. There's no pay raise. It's a tough, I accepted that that's the case, and I was quite new to my current company.
Bit hard as well. It's out of your some of these things are out of your control. It's a bit hard.
Yeah. And two other things that, actually no. One of them is to release another 7 episodes for the podcast this year, which I think we did.
We definitely did that.
Yeah. So actually, tick. And the last one is we've spoken about how I didn't have the best time in Italy because in my resolution was be part of the top paddler.
Oh,
Yeah. So I think
on balance, half and half.
Half and half, but I have to admit though, the triathlon, the driver's licensing, and also the triathlon's not on this list.
Oh, there you go.
But the fear of not achieving anything really propelled me to be like, all right, time to get your driver's license. So even though I think it can be stressful, we've spoken about how having New Year's resolutions can be tough if you make something too hard to achieve. I guess for me, because I wasn't able to achieve some of them, it gave me a real artificial push to try to achieve the others.
Well, look, again, you set 5 goals. If you hit 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 5, that's still 2 or 3 more than you would have had if you didn't set those goals.
Yeah.
You know?
Will you do another resolution for 2025 or yeah?
I will. I have to think about it, though. Something more achievable. Although, in fairness, I thought I was very reasonable and measured in my resolutions. I just didn't do it. I have no one else to blame but myself.
Look. I think we had this off-site chat before we jump on the pod. I think Iryan, probably you have a very... Iryan was just saying, I think I'm a boring person. And I think you can say the word boring or you can say the word stable. So, I feel like when you're an adult and you're slowly, not even an adult, when you're slowly taking in new experiences, if life gets in the way as part of a natural, stable progression, that's what's going to happen. For example, if I happened, in my, if this year I happened to be offered a role in Ireland to work for a year, I would not be able to achieve most of the resolutions that's here, right?
Fair enough, but that kind of shakes up your life, right?
Yeah. So I do think I don't think you failed. I think you didn't envision your parents being here. Probably during the quarter that you did not achieve your goals.
Fair enough. And again, I'm not blaming the family at all. I could have done it, but a lot's been going on. I almost lost my keys.
Oh, okay. That's
I know
important.
It doesn't happen.
You're old.
I don't lose things. I don't lose things at all. But almost did. Do you know where they went? Turns out it was on the lounge chair in the lobby.
Oh.
I know. It was there the whole night.
So,
there was a whole night out without the keys.
So it might have just been, it fell out of your pocket.
It fell out of my pocket.
Oh, so it's not you.
It doesn't happen.
It's not you.
It doesn't happen. And so what I've done, a little nugget of advice, I bought AirTags.
You've got AirTags.
Yeah.
So this actually goes really close into our next conversation, really. Are we over-consuming as a society?
Look, I think probably.
Yeah.
And it's probably a topic that we'll dig into a lot more in a time where we've probably got more time.
You.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Lost my headspace. Yeah, look, we'll dig into it when I have a bit more time, maybe on the next episode. Mel, what do you think?
Yeah, okay. All right. I think this has been a long time coming. We've been wanting to talk about finances and how we can add some finance-ish content without it being
Like
an
some
advice.
finance bro advice?
Yeah, but in a very Like I did not do any economics, finance based subject. So in the past, I did not even, I didn't even know what a merger and acquisition meant. In the
Don't you learn that in law?
no. So as a law student, that's
Like
not
corporate
the.
law?
It's when you talk about corporate law, sure you have the term, but it's not. You don't get into what it is.
Oh, you don't do deals. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it'll be an interesting topic.
Yeah.
So
I'll
yeah,
look forward to
do you want to drag that any longer?
totally losing my
We'll
head.
chat to you
We
soon.
will chat about subscriptions. You know what? I've been watching too much Netflix. I started rewatching Messiah. Beside the point, we'll talk about that next episode.
All right, bye.
Bye.